welcome you all with my love and blessings. All the Parama Shivasena program 11 participants, all the Rajya Sabha members, all the Kailasavasis, all the e-citizens, Kailasa citizens from all over the world. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. As the ultimate manifestation of the ultimate Paramashiva, I bless you all with Paramadvaita. Paramadvaita Praptirastu. Now, what I am going to reveal is not just information or some philosophy. It's a straight truth and initiation. Listen. It's a truth and initiation. Whatever I'm revealing now is not some metaphysical truths, metaphysical ideas, philosophy. It is straight initiation and truth. Look at your mind for a moment. That peculiar stream of thoughts flowing through your awareness right now. The commentary that never stops, that goes on judging you, judging others, judging everything. Every words you hear and process inside you, even these words, when you are listening, immediately you start judging. Have you ever paused to wonder who is exactly talking all this in your head? Listen. Have you ever paused to wonder who is exactly doing all this talking in your head? Almost every one of us pass our entire lives listening to this internal monologue without ever questioning its source. We simply assume that is me thinking and carry on. How many of you assume you are only thinking and you just let go, carry on? You carry on with the conclusion, you are only thinking. Raise your hand. Come on. Is it really you? Are you creating these thoughts? Or are they simply arising in you like clouds swarming in the sky? Come on. If that voice is truly you, then who is the one listening to it? Who is aware of these thoughts? Is it not that awareness is also you? Come on. How can the speaker and listener seemingly existing in the same mind points to something quite extraordinary? About the nature of the consciousness. How many of you understand the listener and speaker both are existing in the same mind? Raise your hand. Now, I wanted to re-reveal and explain something extraordinary. I spoke about it in 2005, the Guaranteed Enlightenment Satsang on Ashtavakra Gita in Bangalore. Now I'm going to reveal it in a different level, I should say, as an ultimate level. Your thoughts, when you are able to predict, you are the speaker and you are the listener. When you are not able to predict, you are neither the speaker nor the listener. Listen. Only when you are able to coin the words predict, you are the speaker and you are the listener. When you are not predicting, when you are not speaking, neither you are the speaker nor you are the listener. How many of you understand this? You can't answer and take it for granted. You are only thinking. No. You can't dump the responsibility on someone else. I am not even thinking. I don't know what is going on inside. No. The thinking in you, the thinking going on in your head is Chit Jatak Granthi. Means it is semi-automated, semi-manipulated, system, listen, when it comes to heart beating, you can say it is beating on its own. Your involvement is practically nothing. But you can't say, you can't think, you can't say, you can think as you want forever. How many of you are understanding this unpredictable nature of thought? As you are listening to these truths, there is a voice in your head that is following along. Perhaps it is repeating what I am saying. Perhaps it is commenting on it. Perhaps it is agreeing with it or opposing it, or partially agreeing with it, partially opposing it. Here is a very peculiar thing. If you pay very close to attention to the voice going on inside, you will rather notice something very odd. You cannot predict with certainty what your voice is going to say next. If you decide to stop and utter the words as you want in your head, listen also your words. So either your speaker and listener simultaneously exist, or speaker and listener both absent, some speaking is going on. How many of you understand it? Owning up to all the words which goes on in auto mode is what I call guilt. Not owning up to the words you consciously generate, not owning up the responsibility for the words you consciously generate, is what I call delusion. Listen. Owning up to the words which automatically goes on in auto mode later on is guilt. Not owning up even to the words consciously you generate and listen is delusion, or trying to cover things under the carpet. How many of you are understanding this? You cannot predict with certainty what your inner voice is going to say next. That doesn't mean you can't control it. How many of you are seeing? This is like a car. You can put it in autopilot and you can also drive. At some point you drive. At some point you put it in autopilot mode. But unfortunately, even what goes on in the autopilot mode, you take the responsibility, you feel responsible for it. Automatically you feel you are only talking. How many of you understand it? This is utter utterly superfluous. Listen. Non-recognizing this autopilot mode, non-recognizing this autopilot mode thinking, but trying to own up after the whole thinking is done, is causing extreme confusions. You need to know what is going on inside you. The moment you know, you will become enlightened. Am I doing the thinking, or is thinking happening to me? At some time, you can do thinking, you are doing thinking. At some time, it is happening to you. How many of you understand this? Raise your hand. Now listen. Now listen. How many of you have this extraordinary assumption? Because these thoughts are occurring in your head, even when you are not thinking, you assume it is yours. Even in the autopilot mode, what goes on, you assume it is yours because it is happening in your head. How many of you assume? Raise your hand. Yes. Drop the hands. Listen. When you truly look for the thinker, the one who supposedly initiates each thought, you find yourself in a very curious position. Weird position. When you consciously think, yes, everything is great, right? But when it is going on in auto mode and you try to find who is thinking, suddenly the auto mode stops. How many of you have discovered whenever you become aware and find out who is thinking, the auto mode stops? Great. Great. Listen, I'm going to introduce the third mode. One mode, the auto mode thinking goes on and you are not listening. One mode, consciously you are thinking and you are listening. There is one mode, thought currents are not consciously done by you. You are not consciously thinking, but you are listening. That is in that high emotion, anger. Thoughts just come. They are forced on you. You are only the listener, but not thinker. How many of you have experienced this state? Raise your hand. Listen. Clarity about these three liberates you. Listen. when you are thinking and listening, you have a conscious sovereignty over thinking process. When you are neither thinking, the thoughts are forced on you, it is going on, nor you are listening, but unfortunately you own it up because it goes on in your head. That is deluded, unconscious, or I should say, deluded part of you. The third one, where thoughts are not yours, it is forced. It just flows. You can't control, you can't design, you can't interfere, but you are listening. This is the dangerous mode, dangerous space. In this space, you execute the command of your deluded part. See, when you are neither talking nor listening, both are in auto mode, you only own it up as yours and feel guilty. That is not that dangerous. But when the words seep in from the delusion into your listening, but you can't control the words, that is the dangerous part of you. That is responsible for all sufferings. You may say your brain is thinking, but you should know your heart beating, lungs breathing are completely out of your hands. At least not immediately. If you do specific acts, you can interfere even in that. If you run, you can alter your breathing, your pulse rate, all that is different. But normally, that is why you don't say, I am beating my heart or I am breathing my lungs. No. You know, these are the processes happening in you largely autonomously. But when the thinking is happening autonomously, you own up, and when those thinking is forced on your listening, you execute thinking it is yours. How many of you understand? You are executing somebody else's command continuously and repenting by mistaking that command is yours. Raise your hand. Now, this is very important understanding you need to have. Listen to these three. Drop the hands, listen. One side, consciously you speak, consciously you listen. That is a chit part of you, conscious part of you. We will come to that later. It can be handled easily. Second, the jata part. Neither thinking is you are aware of it, the thinking, nor you are listening to it. Thinker, listener, both are absent. It goes on autonomously. The third, dangerous. From that autonomous thinking zone, the thinking enters into your consciousness. Listening happens consciously, but thinking is not under your control. But you take that as your thinking and start executing. This is what is the third part, Chit Jata Granthi part. How many of you understand? This Chit Jata Granthi part is responsible for all mess in your life. When you are taken over by anger, lust, greed, pain, insecurity, violence, the command is generated by somebody. You are only listening, but you strongly believe you are generating that command and executing it, even putting your life at stake, running behind it. How many of you are getting? Drop the hands. The inner voice, you are only able to listen, but does not have power over. Is not you, which you are not able to think. That is what I call ego. Devil commanding and making you execute. Unfortunately, you own up the devil. You feel the devil is advising you for good. You even have justifications. Knowing that voice has cheated you many times, you still have justification. Listen, obey. Sometimes, to escape from your small mood swings, you make the decision which damages your whole life. To escape from a small pain, you make the decisions which damage your whole life. How many of you understand this? Relax. Now, understand this three component. Chit. You are talking, you are listening. Jata. Neither you are talking nor you are listening. Autonomous. Both autonomous. Chit Jata Granthi. Talking is by somebody else. You can't control it. You can't even alter. You can't censor. You can't edit. You can't put a word extra. You can't reduce a word. It is like forced on you. You are only listening. Just because you are listening it inside your head, the listener assumes you are the generator of that thinking. Chit, Jata, Chit-chata Granthi. This Chit-chata Granthi, your ego, your delusion, this part becomes more and more dangerous, destructive, when you allow more of your life getting occupied by somebody generating the command you don't know, you don't have a control over, but just because you are listening, you are owning it up and feeling it is your command and executing. This component is responsible for all those criminals who are sitting in jails. Nobody is interested in going to jail. Nobody is interested in doing something wrong. But the command is generated by somebody, but because constantly you are listening, you own it up and get into the delusion. You are only talking, it must be your voice, and you start executing. Listen. Don't think. This chit-chata Granthi puts someone only in the external prison. This is internal prison. All of you are also in a way, kind of a prison, which is just this chit-chata Granthi, and the decisions you made because of this chit-chata Granthi, the securities you built around you, which has become many times a prison, the life you built around you, which has become many times prison, many things you built around you, which has become many times prison, is owning up to the voice just because you listen to it, because it is from your head, you think it is yours, you really feel it is yours, but actually you don't know. How can you own up something which you have not uttered? See, if something is yours, then you should be able to edit, add, delete, speak. Are you able to? No. Then how can you own up and execute certain command, some command, which you are not owner, but continuously you believe it is yours? How many of you understand this? Raise your hand. Yes, now I'll give you just 3 minutes. Pen down this jata, chit-jata Granthi, all three. So you are understanding it. Just 3 minutes. Pen down. Because I am interested in you, understanding you. This knowledge will enlighten you. It will give you sudden enlightenment. Now listen. The chit part of you, the voice you can generate, you are listening. That part of you is called buddhi. The voice neither you generate nor you listen. That part of you is called chitta. The part you don't generate the command, because you listen, you assume it is yours and you obey. This part is called ego, ahankara. This voice of ego, listen, this is actually the 90% of your life. 90% of your life is dominated by this third component. How many of you understand that? 90% of you is dominated by this third component. Drop the hands. Listen. This voice has been shaped by everything you have ever experienced. Your parents, your education, your books, all the books you read, the conversations you have had, the very culture in which you have grown up. When this voice speaks of I, of me, of myself, what is it really referring to? See, when the chit-chatakrandi, the ego, when this voice is delivering command, it uses the word I, of me, of myself. What is it really referring to? I tell you one small example. It is the politician talking, I am making this decision for all of us. Please, all of you, execute. Do you have a say in the decision? You just execute. And you are convinced you made the decision because you voted 4 years before or 5 years before. Democracy is okay for the nation. I don't want to say yes or no, good or bad and all that. Okay, that is the way it is. But blind way of living is not right for yourself. When the voice, your ego speaks of I, of me, myself, what is it really referring to? Is it referring to the true you or merely a character it has been rehearsing all your life? How many of you understand? from the moment we learn language, we are taught a most peculiar game. We are given a name and told, you are this. You are Ram or Suresh. I always refer these names because in India, if you scream Ram, 1/3 of the country will turn and see you. If you just shout Ram, 1/3 of the country will turn and see you. In Tamil Nadu, if you scream Muruga, 1/3 of the Tamil Nadu will turn and see you. In Tiruvannamalai, if you call Arunachalam, 1/3 of Tiruvannamalai will turn and call you, see you. In Tiruvayyaru, Tiruvarur, if you call Tyagaraja, 1/3 of Tiruvarur will turn and see you. Listen, this peculiar game of name, as if this collection of sensations, feelings, experiences, all is a one continuity. You get deluded by that one word called your name. How many of you are cracking it? Because you believe in your name, and that name gives you the false idea of continuity. And because you believe in that false continuity, all that goes on inside you, you own it up and go to the extreme of executing it, even sacrificing your life many times. Your joy, love. You are ready to go through so much pain and you are doing it. How many of you understand this whole drama? Gradually, through the years, you build up a story. I was born on such and such a date. These parents to these parents in this place. The voice in your head becomes the narrator of the story, constantly upgrading your biography, constantly telling you who you are. On and on it goes, weaving this fictional character. You take it as yourself. How many of you understand? This is the way the development of the ego, personality is done in you. I give you a few more minutes? 1 or 2 minutes, just jot down how your personality, ego is created. Pen down. But if you see, this is a case of a mistaken identity of the most profound kind. With how many of you this clicks? Oh God, this is really, really, really. most profound mistaken identity. All the things stuffed as no my contribution, and I go on be executing this order. I continuously execute the order, and literally I have a no role in generating the command. How many of you understand it? And these people want freedom. How many of you are right now seeing your ego is mistaken identity of the most profound kind? Drop the hands. It's like going to the theater, becoming absorbed in the play so deeply, you forgot you are watching actors. Actually, your case is worse than that, because the play has been going on so long, your entire life, that you have utterly forgotten. It's a mistaken identity of the most profound kind is performing this whole thing. This separate self, this ego, as I named it, for your understanding, for our convenience, we named the Chit Jata Granthi. Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. This separate self, this Ahamkara, ego, is the source of all Maya, all illusion, all delusion, and it is not an actually an entity at all. I enlightened all of you about your buddhi, your chitta, your ego, which is source of all illusion and delusion. It's a process. It is something your organism is doing. But not something your organism is. It is something you believe your being is doing, but not what your being is. How many of you are getting it? When you say, I think or I feel. What exactly is this I think or I that thinks and feels? If you try to point it, what can you point to? Your body? But your body is constantly changing. Once in every 7.5 years. That is why in Hindu tradition, in our horoscope, we kept it sunny for 7.5 years. Once in 7.5 years, your body completely changes. How many of you know that? Every cell is replaced. Your memories to change. Some fade, some are embellished, some are entirely fabricated without even you realizing it. Your memories change, your bodies change, your ideas about you change. Your name gives you the delusion of continuity, stops you experiencing eternity. The delusion of continuity stops you experiencing eternity. Note down this word. This is the most powerful cognition. When you look for your true self, it's like you trying to catch your own shadow. The closer you get, the more it recedes. How desperately you cling to it, how terrified you feel at the prospect of losing this sense of self. How many of you understand? You are terrified at the prospect of losing this sense of self. That is why you continue to cling to this delusion. That's the true pathology. See, the separate self is a useful social convention, like a money, everything, how the idea of time is useful. Socially, it's useful. Money is socially useful. But not the truth. The separate self, ego, socially useful, useful as social convention, like money. We all agree to pretend it exists because it makes certain interactions possible. But the trouble begins when we mistake this convenience for the sake of the truth, real, as a truth. See, the real trouble begins when we mistake the convention for reality as the truth. There's a most peculiar paradox at the center of this seeking the truth. Listen, I am actually decoding that 4 Mahavakya of Upanishads for all of you. Naham deham, koham soham. Later on I'll explain. This is the Mahavakya I'm decoding step by step for all of you. The most peculiar paradox at the heart of this seeking the truth, when you attempt to observe the voice in your head, to watch your own thoughts as they raise, who exactly is doing the watching? It seems there is an observer standing apart from the thoughts, doesn't it? Tell me. It seems like observer is standing. That is why you are able to seek, watch. But if you look closely at this observer, you will notice something extraordinary. It too becomes an object of observation. You can observe even the observer. If you have done ajapa, you can understand what I am saying. In the beginning of the ajapa, you will try to do Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Then you can make the Shiva, Shiva repeat, and one part of you can observe, one part of you will be doing the japa. If you go deeper, one part of you will be doing the japa, one part of you will be observing, one part of you will be observing the japa and the observer both. If you have done ajapa sadhana, you will understand what I am revealing. Even the observer becomes an object of observation. You can see everything except the scene itself. In Upanishads, we have a beautiful verse. Sarva Sakshi Bhutam. Gita again. This word, Sarva Sakshi Bhutam. The word is used. Sakshi. Other than the seeing, you can see everything. This Sakshi Bhutam. this witnessing presence that is aware of everything, including your thoughts, the pure subject, which can never become an object. How many of you understand this truth? Sakshi, listen. This Sakshi, the pure witness, the pure awareness, we have been conditioned to believe. Listen, I was explaining about Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam. In everything, that pure Sakshi. In the West, we have been conditioned to believe that consciousness is something the brain produces, like how the liver produces bile, as if it is an epiphenomenon, the side effect of neural activity. How many of you understand this is not a complete, perfect, or truthful understanding? See, this is like the screen on which you are watching the movie is producing the movie. If someone tells that screen on which you are watching the movie is only producing the movie, how foolish it is. Same way, the screen receives the signal and shows it. Same way, brain receives consciousness, but not producer. So understand, this Sakshi, Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam, is consciousness that is not produced by brain. Listen. All Vedanta Sampradaya, Advaita, Dvaita, Visishtadvaita, Shankara Advaita, all of you should know, the classical Advaita is different from Shankara's Advaita. Many of you are thinking Shankara is the Acharya who promoted the Advaita. Sure, but his school of Advaita is not as the classical Advaita. If you go and see, read, his own guru's guru, Shankara's guru Govindabhata, Govindabhata's guru Gaudabhata. Gaudabhata's Mandukya Karika, if you read, you will get the glimpse of the classical Advaita. And if you read Shankara's Advaita, means his own books, the books he wrote, like Vivek Chudamani, all of it. The Shankara's Advaita is different from classical Advaita. Listen, all these Advaitas, Advaita, Visishtadvaita, Dvaita, Shuddhadvaita, all Advaita, all Vedantic traditions accept the one truth. Consciousness is the fundamental ground of the being. That Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam, which I was describing, is the consciousness which is ground of all being. Listen, if you want health, you need to get involved with your body and do yoga. If you want enlightenment, you need to get involved with your inner space, consciousness, and see what is going on and awaken yourself. What the Upanishads calls as Brahman or Paramashiva, Parandama, that is the Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam. When that mirrors in individual being, we call it Atma. Atma is that Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam in individual. Consciousness without commentary is what I call Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam. When you are in deep meditation, ajapa japa, or after puja just sitting in unclutched space, in that pure silence, Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam comes out, removing all the veils, all the masks, all the makeup. You get Vishwarupa Darshana. You become vivid, real. The commentary inside you stops. But that Sarvadi Sakshi Bhuta remains. How many of you experienced it at least once? Raise your hand. During initiation or unclutching. That's all. Listen. Listen. The true nature of consciousness might not be the inner voice at all, but the Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam, in which these voices come and go. They all come and go. That Sarvadi Sakshibhutam is not the thoughts, but knowing of the thoughts. As soon as you try to grasp this pure awareness, to hold it, examine it, it slips away. It disappears. Like you try to hold the river in your hand, in your palms, it disappears. It slips away. The very act of trying to observe it turns it into an object which it can never be. So you can only be the observer who observes the observer. Now, I'll initiate all of you into this Nirvikalpa Samadhi, sudden enlightenment, guaranteed. Sit. If you have Atmalinga, take the Atmalinga and keep it on your Anandagandha. If you don't have Atmalinga, just sit. Close your eyes. See who is thinking, who is listening to thinking, who is observing the thinking and listening, who is observing the observer. Sit. Sarvadi Sakshibhutam. Everyone here experience the pure consciousness. Sakshi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi Praptiras. Sarvadi Sakshibhutam. Chadegam Manaso Javiyo Nainaddevo Apnuvan Purvamarshat Tattavadoda Jnanatyeti Tishtattasmin Nabo Madarishvadatat. The motionless one faster than mind, and devas and senses could not overtake it, which ran before. Sitting it goes faster than those who run after it, by it all pervading. This is the all pervading, deeper than the air that supports the all living beings. Nirvikalpa Samadhi Praptiras. Tvamasi. Nirvikalpa samadhi praptirastu. Sarvadi sakshibhuta. Om. I bless you all. I'll continue to expand the deeper truths tomorrow, the same time, in the satsang. Again tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. EST. We'll have Enlightenment Guaranteed Initiation Sessions. All of you are welcome to experience deeper truths. I'll explain how the Chit and Jata can be used, manipulated for your sudden enlightenment. With this, I bless you all. Paramadvaita praptirastu. Blessings.
Nityanandam, thank you for watching, and if you found the video enlightening,
please give it a like, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to stay connected with us.
don't forget to click the bell icon to receive the notifications.